Hello, Mana here, and welcome to a quick channel update. At least I'm going to try and make it quick. I'll do my best to avoid rambling, but I'll probably do some of that. So the short version, just the things that matter the most. Streams will be starting later, probably more around the range of like 4 to 5 a.m. for me, and we'll probably be capping them at like 4 hours. So 2 to 4 hour streams will probably be what's going to be normal for me for a while. This will probably change again in the future, but at least this will be standard for me for a while. And then on the Let's Play side, I'm going to be picking up pace properly again on that, catching up, starting new things, and I'm going to be aiming for 3 to 5 videos a week there. That's that's the main stuff. But yeah, I want to go for a bit of a longer version of that, just for anyone who cares, explaining why, all that kind of stuff. Basically, I did I think it was over 400 Let's Play videos before I ever did an actual stream. Although streaming was something I wanted to try for quite a while before that. I never looked at streaming as like something to replace Let's Plays, like it was just something I wanted to try. It was just sort of a extended live version of that in my head, which has been essentially what my streams are. But, I never wanted to replace Let's Plays, but I didn't really think about it when I started streaming. It was something where I'd wanted to just try it for quite a while. And so one night I was like, all right, fuck it. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to set up stream. I'm just going to do it. Because otherwise it would just keep coming into my head. I'd keep, and I'd never actually do it. So one night I just did it. And I'm glad I did. It was good. It was just good to rip that band-aid off, so to speak. Because whilst it was very similar, it also just felt very different. In a live stream, you can't do 2 takes on an intro unless they're both broadcast, You can't cut out the travel or other things where I would normally just let myself fade off from talking. So it was very similar, but also felt very different. But, I'm glad I did it. I enjoyed it. And here we are a few months later. And I think I've done over 100 streams now, which, yeah, it's been great. I mean, I still feel like I'm just figuring it out, but, I'm really glad I started. Like, really glad. And whilst I do hate to put a but in there, because I really have been enjoying it, the big problem, and this is purely a me thing, is that once I got the ball rolling, I just kind of kept it rolling. I didn't really stop and think about what that meant for my life, right? Because as much as I love it, I mean, no matter what you do, no matter how good it is, no matter how positive it is, if you start doing something that takes up anywhere from 3 to 6 hours of your day, it's gonna be a big change to your life. And I kind of just rammed streaming in there. And, not the smartest decision in hindsight. Not that I have any regrets about it. That's the thing, like I'm really glad I did it. But it's just a practical reality that when you start doing something that you weren't doing before that takes up that many hours, it's gonna have a big impact on your life. And obviously, largely, and 99%, it's very positive, and I have all of you to thank for that, and I really do appreciate it. So that's why I have no regrets about it, but just because I have no regrets and just because I really enjoyed it, doesn't mean there hasn't been consequences, because I really just kind of shoved it into my life and made it work. I never really stopped and thought about it after I got the ball rolling, as I said. I just kept doing it, and as I said, whilst I've really enjoyed that, there has been some problems, and that's sort of what I've been running into more and more recently, and that's why I have to make some changes. So one of the big problems I've had is that there's only really certain times of the day that it's practical for me to stream, because when I'm streaming, obviously, I don't want any interruptions. I don't want anything that's going to take my focus away. I need to be able to, I mean, I don't need to, but obviously that's the, I wouldn't want to be doing a stream where I'm having to like check my phone or monitor other things or just do anything else that would be work related or other, whatever it is, So that's why it's sort of led into where I've been doing overnight streams for the most part, because that's just the time of the day that works best for me with this. If I was to do it in the daytime, that's mostly, I have like a scattered work schedule and some other things, other responsibilities I have to worry about, and there's just not really. Because with streams, I could go 2 hours, could go 3, but we're also going up to 6 hours and stuff, and there isn't really a part of the day where that works for me, and so it led into nighttime. And on one side that worked, because whilst there are certain things at certain times of day I need to be able to do, I have a pretty flexible schedule. I'm generally able to choose when I sleep. I can usually make things work within reason. But the problem with streaming overnight is that it really locks me into that, and whilst it has been working, it hasn't been a good schedule for me, and other things have definitely suffered, such as Let's Plays as the prime example. And this comes back to like a few things. One is just the time of day for certain things being an issue, but I also found that despite being very much a night person, I really enjoy staying up all night. I always leaned that way as a kid whenever holidays would start. It'd be 2 a.m. to bed, 3 a.m. to bed, 6 a.m. to bed. And, I think our kids do that a lot, but for me, it just felt so natural. I've always liked staying up all night, but as I got further into my 20s, I realized that when I actually get myself on a schedule where I'm getting up at say 5 or 6 a.m., I am so much more productive. I think my mental health is just better. I don't know what it is exactly, but if it's just being up for more, like, in the sunlight more or something, I don't know. But I found getting up earlier, I just found myself to be healthier all around. Not directly from it, but just, I think waking up in the morning just feels good. Make some breakfast, I don't know, it just feels a lot more natural, I suppose. I couldn't really pin it down to an exact thing. But the difference, I've had enough years now to be able to see the difference on both sides and how much of an impact it has on the rest of my life. I did say I would avoid rambling, but, I gave the short version at the start, so this is more for anyone who's just interested and want to, hear the reasons behind things. So basically this comes up to now where I'm making a change, and I already have over the last couple days. I'm still trying to solidify it because it is a bit of a shift still for me. But basically I had originally been starting streams anywhere from like 12:30 to 2 a.m. and they ended anywhere, 5, 7 a.m., 8 a.m. It's been a little all over, but always in that range, which means I sleep generally after stream, and then as soon as I wake up, I start work and various other things, and pretty much busy all day up until stream, and then I just kind of repeat that process. And it's been good, but yes, not without issues, obviously. So the change that I'm making, and that I have been trying to make over the last couple of days, is that rather than having stream be the last part of my day, I'm making it the first part of my day. So rather than say sleeping at anywhere between 6 and 8 a.m. and then getting up at whatever time I wake up, I'm going to be changing it to where I'm going to try and, well, I have been, but I'm going to be going to bed at around 9 p.m, hopefully waking up at 4:30 a.m. and then starting stream by 5 a.m. It's not going to be an exact thing, but that's sort of the rough idea. The benefit of this is basically that I get to return to starting my day early, starting my day in the morning, and I think it's just going to be a lot more natural and just better for me overall. But obviously part of this is also that I recognize, like, because I just crammed streaming into my life as much as I love it, it's just not, like, I'm not in the position in life right now where I can be doing 6-hour streams when I want to be doing them. There is a good chance that this will change quite a bit, 6 months to a year. I don't know how exactly it'll go. And it's not to say we won't be doing any long streams. It's just that the average is probably going to be more in the realm of 3 hours, because that works. Morning, can start my day. But as I said, it's not going to be exact. For example, if I was to go to sleep at 8 p.m. and I wake up at 3:30, well, then I might start stream at 4. And since I start a little earlier, maybe we go a little longer. If a new release came out, I could always go to bed at 7, get up at 3, Like, within a few hours, I can get to bed pretty easy. I mean, I have my sleep issues, but on that front, usually getting to sleep is okay. It's usually the problems after, but yeah, so that's the rough idea of things. As I said, the short version just comes down to that I'll be starting streams later, but that is because I will be having them at the start of my day rather than the end of the day, which I think will be good too. I often feel good. I always liked recording in the morning. I don't know, just like waking up and getting straight into something, even if I'm like groggy for a tiny bit, it just I don't know, it feels good. But yeah, this is sort of a big change for me just because I have really been, we started, I think the first streams were in August, we're now just hitting like the 1st of March, so it's been a while and it hasn't been working well. I've been making it work, but as I said, I've been so far behind on Let's Plays, and that's mostly because of that. It used to be that with Let's Plays, I would just do them whenever I wanted. I would squeeze them into the day where it was most practical. And sometimes that was in the morning, sometimes that was afternoon, it would vary a bit. But with live streams taking up, sort of the night time, it shifted a few things, right? Because say I'm starting a stream at 1 a.m, well, I'm probably not going to start recording a Let's Play at midnight if that's the case, There's sort of that lead up to the stream as well, where when you realize that, oh, I've got to stream in half hour, you're not really starting things, that. So it's like, even if I did a 4-hour stream, it sort of takes up a bit longer than that. There's also, thumbnails and other little things that don't take up tons of time, but when you're talking about hours of the day, it is pretty significant. So I've just often find myself like, all right, I'll record something after dinner, then I just get caught up on this or that, and I just don't end up doing it. And it's happened so many times, it's gotten ridiculous. But it also comes back to like me putting stream as the priority, even though I never meant to make that a Let's Play replacement. I basically do the equivalent of just like a live Let's Play, but there are things that I do want to keep Let's Playing. I don't want to give that up. There are things I specifically want to do as Let's Plays rather than streams. So stream has sort of taken over Let's Plays, and certain series have been neglected, and it's not entirely on that, because obviously I've still had time and things. It's just, it's more the schedule that combines with that, and that's, yeah. And look, as I said, like, despite the rambles here, I am sort of giving the short version of this. There are some other, things wrapped into it, personal stuff, nothing that's that important. It's just, I'm giving a bit of a condensed version of things here. Nothing that needs to be worried about or anything, just, yeah, I don't know. I just think this is going to be good for me overall. I've been mixed on it just because I feel like I've just had to sort of face the reality. I have to sacrifice a bit to have everything I want, I suppose. Something I shouldn't be, that's something I should have figured out a long time ago, obviously. That's the way life is. But I've been giving stream a higher priority than I should, is really what it comes down to, and it's been indirect, or it's been the fact that I haven't really stopped to be like, okay, I'm enjoying this, but it's obviously causing problems in other areas. And look, nothing major, like, I just want to be clear, like, so I said I have no regrets about this because streaming has been wholly positive on my life. It's not like I've suffered major consequences because of it or anything, but I don't like that I feel like Let's Plays have been neglected because of that. I don't like that I've sort of pinned myself to this schedule where I have to sleep in the morning type of thing because I'm streaming at night. And it's like, I guess I've been looking at it lately more like, where does that end, right? Because life can't be just making things work. Like, that's not a good way to have a schedule. So yeah, I just, I started basically like laying out, I just like literally laid down and went in my head and just like broke down all the potential schedules that I could have, factoring in streaming and other things, and just looking at the actual times of day where things were possible. And that's when I landed on, if I go to bed at 9 p.m. and I can do 7.5 hours in bed to get up at 4:30, that means I should realistically always be able to start a stream by 5 a.m. at the latest, and then I can comfortably stream for up to like 4 hours without any problems, nothing I need to worry about in the morning, and then I can still start my day pretty fresh in the morning. And as I said, like, there is some wiggle room with it because I don't want to cut off the idea of long streams, but it's just like I said, if I go to bed a little earlier, I can stream a little longer. If there's, new game come out, I can go to bed really early, get up early, like, because within, a few days, some shifts like that, really not gonna be a problem. But there still will be said, it's a big change for me, even though streaming wise, it'll only really break down to, I'm starting a bit later and we don't go for 5 or 6 hour streams very often, which, to be fair, I haven't been doing as much lately. My streams have been a bit on the shorter side, at least relative to some of the older ones. But yeah, anyway, I said I knew I'd ramble. It is what it is. But yeah, coming back to, like I mentioned at the start too with Let's Plays, because of this change, I'm going to be definitely ramping up the Let's Plays, getting that back up. I'd like to get up to like 5 videos a week, but I'm going to say like 3 to 5. I'm just going to ease into things. I'm going to focus on getting my schedule running properly. So it'll probably be a bit of an adjustment period over the next couple of weeks, and yeah, hopefully things will smooth out from there. I just also want to reiterate, like, I really, really do appreciate everyone who's been watching the streams and hanging out. Like I said, like, there's the thing of, like, the reality of how much it takes up, there is consequences, and consequences have, like, a negative connotation, but that's just the reality of the time. The overall experience has only been positive. I've been really happy. It's just good. I like it. I feel like it suits me well with my scatterbrain, which isn't always great on stream, but it's good for me on a personal level, being, if I'm focusing on stream and chat and various things, my mind's very occupied, and I think that's just, it's good for my mental health, to be frank, because if I don't have enough to keep my attention, my brain just, it just keeps going in every different direction, and it's a pretty regular problem, so streaming's been really good for me in that way, I found. So I really do appreciate everyone's been hanging out and everything. It's just, it's just kind of facing reality. That's what I've had to do. And it's not like this major dramatic thing. It's nothing like crazy or anything. It's just, I've just realized that, I'd been forcing it into my life in a way that probably isn't fair to the rest of my life. Even if there hasn't been like these major negative consequences, it's just that, as I say, come back to like, well, when does it end, right? Because I just want to keep doing it. But if I keep repeating a pattern of I'm not getting the Let's Plays up, and there's other things too, I'm sort of more focusing on the YouTube side of this, but, it's even things like saying, like, I have a lot of plants and things like that, and, I like to, after stream, I can just water them, take care of them, things like that. But yeah, I think that's about it. I just kind of want to cover things and explain it for anyone who's interested. I probably missed a few things and forgot a few things I wanted to say, but that's, that's the long and the short of it. It'll be an adjustment period over a couple of weeks, but hopefully after that, it's just sort of, normalized and smooth, and we'll have streams most days of the week and videos coming up, and yeah. I'll say the only other change, and if you even call it a change, I'm going to start doing my best to avoid any absolutes with when I'm streaming. I really hate saying that I'm going to do something then not doing it, even if there is valid reasons. It's just like I hate saying I'm going to do something then not doing it, and especially when it comes to YouTube. So I'm going to avoid saying when I'm going to stream or what I'm going to stream or scheduling ahead too much until I'm in a place where I feel more confident with that, because things come up and things that, I mean, whenever I say that I'm going to be doing something, there is no obstacle I'm aware of, but then, yeah, so I'm just going to avoid it, and I'm going to just change to that I'm just going to try and stream most days of the week, because that's what I want to do, but I will probably stick to scheduling in the morning or something, perhaps the night before, but I think I'm better off to like wake up in the morning, see how I feel, and then based on that, I'll schedule something. Or if I'm not feeling great, or for whatever reason, or if I just need a day off, you know, then I won't schedule something. So I know that's not as ideal for you guys, and I apologize for that. I'll try to like smooth things out, but I just really need to rebuild my life schedule basically. And it's something that, you know, it's come up a few times since I started streaming, but this is sort of my most like, I don't know, taking it more seriously, I suppose. But yeah, I think I'm just going to say thank you guys very much for listening, because otherwise I'm just going to ramble and keep going in circles. I'm sure if you've made it this far, you guys know how it is. So yeah, just thank you for listening. Thank you for always watching. Thank you for hanging out during streams. I really appreciate it. Please feel free to leave any feedback in the comments, or you know, you can contact me, Twitter, Discord, if you want to give any private thoughts or feedback or any of that kind of stuff. But yeah, I just really appreciate you guys. Be well, and I'll see you in something soon. Bye bye.